Oh, the weather outside is frightful.
But inside is so delightful.
It's Christmas in July.
Let's review.
Let's review
Let's review.
you.
And me. Season
Season
3. Not going to drag it out as much. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. I already hurt my vocal cords the last time. Bum. All right, BlueDragonFive. We are back for the third Christmas in July podcast in a row tonight. We're still making up groundwork for my trip to Disneyland last week. Still kind of making up for last time. It's kind of a, Christmas in July is a yearly tradition, BlueDragonFive, where we start off and we're all excited to be back in the holiday spirit the first week of it. And then by the end, we're like, oh shit, we need to do like all these podcasts to make up for it. And we're just kind of like, oh god, when's it going to get over? But I don't know. We have an episode that's a lot of fun, but at the same time, I feel like this sitcom has not aged as well as maybe people would like it to have aged. Everybody Loves Raymond. Dragon, I'm going to kind of give my thesis statement on the show, and I think you'll probably agree with me on it. The show's got a lot of quick-witted comedy to it. I think what sets the show apart, it's a very, very standard kind of like, like domestic couple, like living and kind of like quarrels and married couple dynamics and stuff like that. It's very standard humor like that, like, oh no, the nasty mother-in-law, and, but what sets it apart is absolutely the performances, the cast. That's absolutely what sets the show apart. It had a great cast. The cast had great chemistry with each other, a great rapport with each other. That is absolutely what set this show apart. Other than that, there's not really a lot to this show that really makes it stand out. And in fact, I would wager to say that most, if not all of these characters are flat out bitter, unlikable people. Like on surface level, without the great performances, they're bitter, unlikable people. But I don't know. What do you think, Dragon? I definitely think that the writing in this show is not the strong point. The strong point is how the actors deliver it.
Well, I'm going to argue with you to an extent there. I mean, I would agree with. I was a big fan of Everybody Loves Raymond, and I still like the show. I do admire the heck out of the showrunner. Always impressed me. He did a documentary called Exporting Raymond, which is really good. Phil Rosenthal and Ray Romano are kind of the brains behind this show, as you can imagine. Ray Romano, Everybody Loves Raymond, kind of goes hand in hand, and basically, kind of the life of Raymond. Here's the thing I love about the show, Diggin. I always have to applaud the writing. I think the premises for episode in terms of the writing are brilliant because all the episodes are based in reality. These are real things that, like, 85 to 90% of the time, these are things that happen in the writers' room. The people, they're all at times to reflect the characters. Like maybe it didn't happen like to this specific. All of this happened to one specific writer, but basically experiences from all the writers. I mean, it's all pretty much inspired from real life, which is really interesting for the most part. Again, like not. I forget if I crashed in the car through the room was actually not in real life, but I wouldn't put it beyond. My point is that, the show, it doesn't. I wouldn't say it hasn't aged well. I would say that it doesn't hold up on the rewatch. It doesn't feel dated, but what it does feel like is that it's a show that really the formula cripples them after a while. And the formula cripples them. I don't mean like some elements still hold up because wife jokes are always funny. Like you making fun of like Frank and Marie's kind of making fun of the spouse sort of jokes. Those are always funny. Those always work. But here's what I'm saying: this episode thankfully does not suffer too much from it because usually any other episode, Tiki, I would probably be griping about this left and right. Thankfully, we don't have to deal with that this episode because ordinarily the two sticking points constantly in the formula are that kind of the miracle exemptions. Otherwise, you have no show. Is that Deborah just can't quite get her mind around just accepting the way things are. She's always complaining to Raymond, oh, your parents are so annoying, oh, your mother's so critical, yada, yada, yada. She's always whining, complaining to Raymond. Again, she can't just accept that, okay, well, why should I just make the situation worse by trying to change it?
Right.
Basically, it's like stuff where she instigates almost. Or she just like puts Raymond. The problem with the formula is that Raymond is constantly put in a position where he can't win. He will offend one side or the other. His wife will always tell him, stand up to your parents. Can't do that. So we're at a crossroads constantly. And it just boils down to a point where why doesn't Raymond just like tell the parents when they get on his nerves that they insult Deborah to her face, get out of my house. Just don't come by. Just get out. If you're going to be like this, get out. He never does that.
So the problem becomes Raymond is essentially a big pushover of a character.
But he can't win, Tiki. It's not Raymond's fault. Like he's going to upset either party, so he has to find the least kind of the most diplomatic solution, which always is like trying to convince the other one to kind of take it easy.
Sure. Okay.
And also it's like Marie's thing is like when Marie's kind of like the overbearing mother. That's funny. That's great. I love that. But when Marie's just overly the critical mother-in-law towards Deborah, that's again where that's my problem spot. Just Deborah and Marie's stuff is where I get because it's like constantly Marie beating you over the head with "I don't like Deborah. Why did you marry Deborah?" It's like okay, why you can only get so much mileage out of that, you know.
I absolutely agree, and that was one of the Marie is definitely kind of like a two-headed monster in that regard, in that half of her content is really, really funny, and then half of it is really repetitive.
That's what I'm saying. And Marie's thing is like she becomes without the like you said, TV. Before we get into it, is like you said, one of the biggest thing about the show is the performances are always excellent. The performances are great, especially Brad Garrett. Brad Garrett, I think, is one of the best parts of the show in my opinion. But
this is where I discovered Brad Garrett, and I've only gained like an intense appreciation for Brad Garrett after discovering his voice acting work. But yeah, this is a great kind of starting point for Brad Garrett.
He's so good in this show. The point is, I would say for me personally, I think my standout's Brad Garrett. But
I don't necessarily like the direction that they took the Robert character in later seasons, but that's kind of a whole other issue.
Well, again, I think I don't know. Maybe I mean, from what I recall, I thought Robert went in a good direction. I might be misremembering. It's been a while, but I mean, I kind of know the general directions. I know what you're talking about. We don't have time to get into that. My point is,
no, I don't. Yeah.
Let me just quickly summarize my thing on Murray here. So my point is with Murray's again, without that kind of the wonderful performance of Doris Roberts, you're going to notice that she comes off really antagonistic and mean left and right to people because she constantly lovingly insults people. Without that performance, that lovingness, you completely hate her. And I still, again, rewatching, I can see past it because I'm so used to it. Like, my God, she's so evil. Get her out of that house.
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Except for the motherly bits, when she treats Raymond and Robert like they're children, that's great. That's hysterical. I love that. But anything else, I can't stand her.
I think we can agree though that Frank is the most likable and consistent character on the show.
Oh, Frank has never wavered.
Yeah, I think we can all agree with that.
Frank's never wavered, and I would argue again. I probably need a more critical watch. But I don't think Robert has either. But again, I don't know what you're talking about, so we can't get into that. But points.
I'm just talking about his whole switch, like where he started dating a whole bunch of girls later in the series.
Oh, right. Well, I'll give you that. Yeah, you're right. That element. I don't really view it as like a direction because eventually he gets married to the girl.
Yeah, I know eventually he meets but I just didn't like the whole bit where like for a while Robert was supposed to be like this kind of like single playboy type, and I really hated that direction. And in fact, there is some of this in this episode. It's not bad. It doesn't overwhelm the episode by all means, but.
Well, let me clarify one thing. I think it might help you with this in one area. But real quick before we move on, is that. This is Robert's bachelor phase. So this wasn't when he was like cheating on Amy. This is before that stuff.
Oh no, I know it wasn't when he was cheating on Amy. I'm just saying, like, kind of, it's a little bit too far out of left field for me, being as though like the Robert that we've known from before the series and earlier seasons to suddenly be this stud who's able to get all the girls and whatnot. I don't.
Well, this was only for like until he moved back to his parents. This is only like until he moved back with his parents. He was living. It was basically things were going good for Robert for a brief time. That was the idea.
Fair enough.
Yeah, but that's fair enough. But there was like I call it like a speed bump over like a speed bump where he had all this stupid stuff swirling. I had 3 girls fighting. He had 3 girls.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. It went so far away from what the point of the original character was supposed to be.
Yes, and then they adjusted that too. And also there was it doesn't tie into it. I'm just saying there was also kind of a thing where they were kind of thinking about it. Robert, he kind of stuck up for the cast and getting everyone a raise, and that kind of put him at odds with, not the writers, but, with the networks and stuff. So, there was...
Anyways.
So let's get on with the episode. So the episode is called The Toaster.
Oh, God. Not as good as the Holiday Armadillo, but still pretty memorable.
Yeah. And overall, again, fond memories of Raymond. Overall, the good outweighs the bad, but still you do run into kind of repetitiveness. Anyway, so episode starts out. It's Christmas Eve at the Barone house. Ray is very. This is where we love Ray Raymond. This is where we fell in love with the guy. He has these kind of moments of we can all relate to this. He's very self-conscious about the engraved toaster.
Read it again.
Basically, the running gag, Tiki, and all the Christmas specials, and I think it's the only running gag I really need to brief you on, is that
I've watched a lot of the show. I don't necessarily think you need to brief me on running gags.
Well, anyway, for the audience, is that the parents never like any of the gifts Raymond or any of the gifts the children give him, especially Raymond's. They never like his gifts, especially around the holidays. That's the running gag. You can never buy anything for your parents. They're always going to hate whatever you get them. So anyway, this year he kind of came up with an idea of hey, a toaster with, and this is based on something in real life. Phil Rosenthal, the guy again, the showrunner I told you about, he it said instead of saying the family's names like in this episode, again, it's all based in reality. For Christmas, I guess after the first or second season, whatever, they engraved the toaster says love the cast of Everybody Loves Raymond, or love to the parents, and then the same thing happens in this episode happened in real life, absolutely, to Phil Rosenthal's parents.
Oh God.
Who Marie and Frank are pretty much entirely based on Phil Rosenthal.
Sure. Okay.
Anyway, let's see. So again, so it's Christmas Eve. Raymond's kind of self-conscious about the toaster gift. Deborah's reach. And yeah, I love Deborah in this. This is where Deborah's like doing it for me just right. Usually,
which is
I'm always
surprising because Deborah usually can be a problem area with the series.
Again, like nagging wife who always just wants to put Raymond in the crossfire, which is always like that's where Deborah really weighs in on me, especially the PMS episode. God, I hate the PMS.
The Skylar White syndrome.
Yeah. Anyway, so Deborah, she reassures him very lovingly. I guess when Patricia Heaton's at her best, she reassures Raymond that basically the gift is Merry Christmas. We love you from. We love you, Raymond. Raymond, Allie, Jeffrey, Michael, and then Deborah. It's the whole family's name. He's afraid everyone's going to hate it.
Xmas. I X'd out the name of the birthday boy.
A lot of great lines in this. Again, I think the writing can be really on par on this show.
There are some really, really damn good lines in this episode. I will give you that.
Deborah's mentioning that, look, Raymond, Ray, you've obsessed over this gift for 2 months. They're going to hate the toaster. They're going to hate the toaster. I mean, basically sending his out to all the loved ones, like Robert's getting the toaster, Deborah's parents getting the toaster, and then the Frank and Marie getting the toaster across the street. And for the parents, they're going to spend Christmas Day at the parents' house, at Deborah's parents' house. Says, okay, well, what'd you wrap it in? Foil? What are you wrapping in?
That tips off the gift. Foil wrapping means it's a metal toaster.
You might as well wrap it in toast. It's a dead giveaway. So Ray is desperate. He's desperate for a good gift reaction from his parents. He worries, especially for Deborah's parents in particular. He worries it's not going to be funky enough for them because they were the highfalutin crowd. They go exploring. They're into they go to exotic places. They're sort of the highfalutin kind of fancy family.
Right.
So basically, it's like he's worried it's not going to be funky enough for Deborah's parents.
You're hip. This is a very... Oh, I'm sorry. Deborah's like, you're hip, Ray. This is a very hip, funky, badass toaster.
And again, it isn't like Deborah at her finest here. She's very sure it's late endearing that Raymond thinks, he thinks he's not good enough, and Deborah said, no, it's good enough.
I also want to quickly mention that I watched the E! Hollywood story for Everybody Loves Raymond, and there's a lot of relatable stuff about Ray Romano and him going through depression and anxiety and all that stuff. I remember a story specifically he was telling about how, when the show got picked up, for syndication, he was like, oh, well, something's going to happen with this. And then when the show got nominated for Emmys, he's like, well, something bad's going to happen here. I just know it, and it's like, and Ray Romano kind of always has that sinking feeling in the pit of his stomach, like something's going to go wrong. And I must say that's very relatable, and I think he puts a lot of that into his humor. He's very much a good example of a comedian who kind of masks the problems of his personal life with his humor, I think. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. So let's see. So he blames. So he says, "Oh, it's a goofy doofus with a. I'm gonna be the goofy doofus with a foofy toaster."
Oh God.
Anyway, so he blames himself for. This is hilarious. I just love Deborah's reaction. I think they're. They're in bed at this point. Later on, it's he's saying. He blames himself for the gift. Oh, you could have married better.
Oh God.
Merry Christmas, honey.
This is totally for the poor woman who ends up married to me. Sneak preview of what your life is going to be like. This is me. I'm sorry. Anyways, so we have a Christmas montage over the title scene.
No, remember the nose gag. The nose gag.
Oh yeah, right. Oh God! Oh, my nose is so big.
He sees the reflection of his nose in a toaster. Wakes him out.
Okay, is this montage inspired by Die Hard? I want to say it is.
They change it up per season, so like it's like a
Okay,
different
okay.
opening. This is the season 3 opening where it's like he dive bombs like kind of lock the door. Which again, you think in retrospect that probably would have saved them a lot of grief if they just locked the door more often in that show.
Right, exactly. It's like Robert and Frank and Maria are kind of coming down all ominously from the other side of the street.
Yeah.
There's like some Beethoven music playing.
It's the Ode to Joy, I think.
Okay.
All right. Anyway, so after the opening, we're at Deborah's parents' house, Warren and Lois, not Lane. Warren offers
Why
more.
did you say that name?
Wrong name. So Warren's offering Ray like some sort of fancy, obscure wine, I guess, or something like some sort of weird drink like with peat moss in it. Not as tantalizing as the course they had for Christmas dinner. Rock soup.
Of course not. It's hard to get more tantalizing than that. And for appetizers, I got hamburger on a stick, of course.
So, and of course, Raymond tries giving his own like fancy toast, but Brosham Felcha.
I just made that up.
And Ray tries to, he tries to kind of cover up he tries to avoid the reaction, saying, "No, you can open that when we leave." And he's so self-conscious about this toaster. Lois and Warren, they open up.
As
their
they're
first
opening it, Ray is just kind of sinking in the seat. What are you doing, Ray? Oh, I'm hating myself. Again, like Ray's depression and anxiety, like that is so what the real Ray Romano is like, and I love how he works it into his humor.
I love this.
It's very relatable to me.
Again, I love there's some great Ray Romano delivery where he's he's buried his head into his hands like Deborah's asking, and he says, "Hating myself." It's almost like
I just find it so admirable that I know for a fact that Ray Romano struggles very personally with like self-deprecation issues and stuff like that. And he is so willing to kind of come on and, address some of that stuff head on in his comedy. I find that super admirable of him.
Anyway, so at first it looks like Lois and Warren are looking at the kind of the rich highfalutin crowd. It's like, oh, a toaster, how nice! And then they open it up as Deborah's coaching and says, oh, it's engraved, and they love it. And it's retro chic.
Wild idea.
It's retro chic. Raymond's quite proud of himself. Like, really? It's like he's actually feeling happy. Then Robert arrives for a visit with. But again, he's had kind of like a Jerry Seinfeld salute.
This is what I'm saying. Robert comes with his skiing buddy Leanne.
I'm saying I forget why he had to move back to the parents' house before he got injured. It was before he got injured. It was. I'm saying for a while it was like the idea things were going great for Robert, and then he's going to get injured. I mean, you're right though. It got a lot worse later on though. But here is anyway. Sorry. Robert arrives with some sort of he's living the bachelor life and is agreeing with him for the time being. Robert also loved the toaster. Let's see. Oh, he says, just what you need, Raymond. More love. Oh my God, Brad Garrett is the best part of the show. So I love Brad Garrett so much. Oh, the Lucky Suit episode. I'm sorry, it always comes to mind. Brad Garrett's just some of the best acting I've ever seen on Brad Garrett. Anyway, let's see. So he tells off Marie, and it's awesome. He just tells her off because she screws him up royally. Anyway, so let's see. So questions, Robert. Do you get any word from mom and dad's if they've what they thought of the gift? Says, oh, I'm heading over now. I got him a soft toilet seat. But after this, maybe I should write on it for him. Write a poem on it for him. Again, it's nice and brotherly. And he says, oh, but I came by to thank you. And I thought that was really nice. And gives him a hug. That's sweet.
Like a nice big bear hug.
Yeah.
I would have bear hug for Brad Garrett.
Yeah. Let's see. So Deborah congratulates Raymond. He's worried. Raymond's still worried if Frank and Marie don't like it. And then they say, brought some Felcha. Again, just showing that they're even using his made-up toast. I mean, Deborah's parents loved it. So we're thinking, how on earth would Frank and Marie not love this? So Deborah tells Ray they got messages from all their friends and family who also got the toaster saying, oh, yes, they all loved it. It's the day after Christmas. There's no word or visit from the parents, which is odd. And Deborah thinks, hey, it's a Merry Christmas after all. They're not dropping by for once. Hooray. Which, I think she deserves that one.
Yeah.
And
And
then
then
speaking
Marie
with that,
stops by, and I love this. It's like, oh boy, time to take down the tree. It's one day after Christmas.
yep. Okay, so Ray questions why she didn't why they sorry Ray questions if Marie is mad at him because they didn't spend Christmas with them, and then she says no, I know what happens, dear. We trade off every year. Basically we go from one grandparent to another the following year, and we spend another day with them or something. Mentions like, oh, you should have seen the party last night though. I mean, Frank danced with a trash can.
I want to see this. I want to see this on like a blooper reel or something.
Let's see. Ray questions. Ray questions if they got the gifts. Then he's asking, you got any good gifts this year? And then she's like dancing around. He then asked directly, did you get the gift I sent you?
Oh yes, dear. It was very nice.
And then she kind of dismisses it and changes the subject for something. And then as she tries to change the subject, Ray says, I'm going to visit. I'm going to ask Dad. He's going across the street to ask Frank. So if we see Frank recovering from the party, because Marie's over there to get aspirin, that's why she went over.
And Marie's also kind of asking Deborah about Robert's girlfriend. Do you like her? I like her. She gave me some lovely bath salts.
Which basically she re-gift the bath salts.
Right.
So let's see. So then I love this. Frank saying, Christmas was hard. Christmas Eve was horrible. I danced with your mother. The mother apparently misconstrued Marie for the trash can. We think. God. And he says, "No, I traded up for the trash can." Ray asks Frank about the gift, and Frank says, "Again, this is good on Frank." And Frank, he usually kind of plays kind of the curmudgeon, like he's always kind of goes kind of grumpy. But here you get some great, like Frank actually trying here. It's like he knows kind of the drill. Like he doesn't want to like squash his dreams of saying, "Oh yeah, thanks." Again, the fact that he thanked him was really nice.
Yeah, totally.
And the fact we opened it. It was a toaster. It says, "Yeah, did you open the box?" It says, "Yeah." What did it say? No one lies like Peter Boyle. Like so, sounding almost convincing. Like, yeah, we did.
I don't know. Toaster Pro.
Where is it? And then there's the moment here.
Shit. Dragon, I wish I had the sound clip queued up, but I don't. I'm sorry. You gotta open the box! You gotta open the box! Oh god, what's in the box? What's in the fucking box?
Well, considering that sound cue usually isn't that good, we're in luck.
I think so. Anyways. What's in the box?
We do get a really great. I think we've all been here. We're kind of like one of the parents is kind of breaking kind of bad news to us in kind of the most easy of ways. You're saying, "I don't have it on me right now," and it's revealed that Frank reveals that they exchanged the toaster for a coffee maker, a new coffee maker. Mm-hmm. And Ray is very hurt. He's asking why. Marie is now over at the house, bringing Frank the aspirin. This didn't even come from Bloomingdale's. They return to Bloomingdale's. They didn't even come from Bloomingdale's. Well, they don't know that. This is great on Peter Boy again. That's such
we didn't lie to Mr. Bloomingdale, dear. We just lied to the store.
It's the rationale. God. He's asking, and here's the crushing thing. I love this. Is actually without the performance thing. You're right. This is the most like crushy soul.
That's what I'm saying. That's exactly what I'm saying. Like the performances make this show, because without the performances, these are unlikable, horrible people.
Like, imagine if we kind of substituted some characters here. Imagine if Ray was Power Kid and Marie was Deaf Side, just kind of breaking this too. You just swap out the characters, make it even more heartbreaking. It's just, but Dad, when did you do this? And it's just the day after you gave it to us. I mean, it sounds so menacing. You know what I'm saying? It sounds so. Well, it does sound really heartbreaking. It's the fact that you gave it away the day of Christmas Day. You took it back. You didn't even open the box for you. You took it back. A gift from your son.
Well, no, dear, because we didn't want to return it after Christmas. I hate the crowds.
Yep. And this is hilarious. Ray telling him what it said. It said basically, telling him it said the names on it. It spoke. Frank's gently. He has like the most sincere like. It spoke is so genuinely curious. Oh my God!
How did it break? What do you do that for?
So Raymond's very upset at these psychopaths, as he calls them, which is right in this scene. They're very much psychopaths. For not any parent to do this would be insane.
And I love Marie's whole rationale. This is Marie at her best. She's like, Raymond, I just want to I just want to sit you down and just now what you need to understand here, Raymond, what you're not getting is this coffee machine has the coffee already made when you come down in the morning, Raymond.
I love Raymond's response. Again, say what you will. Ray Romano has not always been kind of heralded as like kind of one of the great actors. I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying that
I feel bad about Ray Romano's career recently. I feel bad about it. I'm only rooting for his success.
Yeah, I mean, he had some good shows too, like A Man of a Certain Age, which I thought was a decent show. That kind of got canceled before it kind of went further.
Right.
Point is, Ray Romano, I mean, this is a great, because actually that Man of a Certain Age, Tiki, was a drama starring Ray Romano, Andrea Rauer, and, God, I forget who the third one was. Scott Bakula, those three guys.
Okay.
So there's actually a good drama, it's a comedy dramas. I mean, there were a few laughs in there, but it was like, it was kind of some serious acting at times. It was really good. Anyway, so point is, Ray has a really great kind of crushing line here. What he says here, he says, again, it's like so restrained anger at his mother. It's a really understandable line. Like we've all kind of been here. He says, "It was a toaster that has your son's name, your family's name, and your grandchildren's name on it,
and their love engraved on it."
Yep. Again, that's a really sad line. Just him having to explain that to his mother. You know.
Well, maybe you could put the names on the coffee machine.
Does not get the point.
And then Frank is just coming in with like blue collar rationality, like, "What were you buying a toaster for? Our still works fine.
The toaster's not good." He's saying it again.
No, you just gotta rattle it. You just gotta pull the toast out and then pull it in and then do it on the other side. It works fine.
I think we've all had parents that have done this at some point.
Right,
It's like always saying, "Oh no, it works. Just gotta work it a certain way." Everyone. It's so sad here. Again, this is a brilliantly written scene. It's so soul crushing yet hilarious by the actors' performances. That everyone loved it. Everyone loved the toaster, but you've never liked any gifts. And he says, "Okay, fine. Like, basically, that is not true. This is the microwave. That was dangerous. What if I wanted to have more kids?" Is Frank.
If God hasn't stopped you, the government will.
Which is really funny. Then there's a callback. I don't know if you remember the Fruit of the Month callback.
I do remember the Fruit of the Month Club. I do
They
remember
treated,
this.
and again, this is Phil Rosenthal. In real life, he had a Fruit of the Month Club to his parents, and just they wigged out at it. Thinking they're mentioning, they're still trying to.
Buyers wanting to rejoin. Pictures of apricots, dear.
And then this, I think, is one of the cruelest lines in this whole thing where she says, "But dear, you know what I'm saying? We're the ones who have to get these presents."
Oh yeah. Oh, that was an awful thing to say. Yeah.
And again, she doesn't mean anything bad by it, but she really is awful though. What she said.
Right.
Anyway, so then. This is even. I felt so bad Remy here. What he's saying. You know what you're supposed to say? You're supposed to say thank you. I don't know what else you want me to say, Remy. He says thank you. People say thank you. You know, basically, people say thank you because you've never said thank you for a gift.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and it's a gift from your idiot son, Raymond. Anyway, so Raymond, he airs out his frustration to Robert and Deborah, and then Deborah's kind of questioning. And maybe, perhaps the real question is, why do I desperately seek their approval? And then, Rob's going, Raymond.
Oh.
No, shut up, you shut up. Says, how would you feel? And then, this is a beautiful, again, Robert's really sparse in this episode. This is the brilliance of
We're in the way. The Robert Barone story.
Have you read my book? And it's so funny nowadays. He's written a book called "When the Ball Drops." It's pretty. I haven't read it. I've heard good things. So he says,
"Yeah,
you're in the way." The Robert Barone story. And then this is a great transition to kind of our third act kind of moment, I guess. Says, you don't see him. They don't see him doing anything. They don't care. They hurt my feelings. You don't see him doing anything. Anything to make up for that? Didn't see him do anything about it. Cut to Bloomingdale's. Frank and Marie in line with the coffee maker. Frank wants to do the talking. Marie suggests just tell him the truth. Oh no, we get the toaster and the coffee maker. Frank plays nice and all, being all seasonal to the clerk, saying, "Hey, Merry Christmas, the birth of the baby Jesus," all that stuff. He says, "I'm actually Jewish." He says, "Oh, well, I bet you hate all this crap, don't you?" So he tries to complain about the coffee maker. Oh yeah, this coffee maker don't work, and then it didn't even open. Obviously, it's been open because it has duct tape on it. Anyways, and after he says that too, like she opens it, she examines it, and she sees a used coffee filter is in there.
Right.
And then they're bickering very publicly. Says, "What are we lying about today?"
Oh, God. Which I'm sure people working in department stores get this kind of crap all the time around the season.
Let's see. So then, basically, this ends up in them searching through boxes of. They're starting in the display. They're looking through boxes of toasters, looking for the toaster that is hopefully returned. They can't. He's asking, "Rick, can't you be quiet?" As a salesman approaches them. Because they sure no, we're very particular about our toast, that sort of thing.
We can handle it, Jeeves.
Yep, and then we have this series. This is one of the most famous deliveries in the entire series. Is this gag right here.
Yes, I know what you're talking about.
Can't you be quiet? It says, I won't be quiet. I'm not just some trophy wife. And then there's a moment of glorious pause where the audience is dying in the audience. It's like, it says, you're a trophy wife? What contest in hell did I win?
Yeah, that's always played over like Everybody Loves Raymond montages and like the best moments. And yeah, totally.
Gets one of the biggest laughs in the entire series. Really does. Okay, anyway, so Frank plans. Basically, there is mentioned by the salesman there are more toasters in the stockroom. Frank plans to go to the stockroom. Marie keep him busy. He says, "Oh, we're very particular about our toast."
Mm-hmm.
Then we get the awesome stockroom shot. That was a really great shot, though. Like the giant stockroom filled with boxes and boxes of the toaster.
Yes.
Holy crap!
It kind of like reminded me of the Monsters Inc. door room in a way. Oh God.
Let's see. So, anyway, so there's a woman who conveniently, but for the sake of Christmas,
holiday pass.
Woman is bringing in, certainly. So let's get it. Why not? Anyway, so a woman is bringing in, is trying to exchange it. Well, not exchange. She's bringing in a toaster to the customer service desk, and Marie asks, well, "Are you exchanging that?" No. Why would I ever? Essentially, why would I ever do such?
It's from my son. Why would I ever do that? What kind of a mother would I be?
Which again, Marie definitely deserves that. I mean, Marie did something truly horrible here. Anyway, I love the idea this woman thinks the store got the names wrong in grieving it.
It should be Judy, Harvey, Bobby.
Anyways, then Marie says, no, it's my son. I think it's actually a very simple matter that could be corrected instantly. It's obvious. Okay, well, again, they correspond to the names in the wallet. It's actually the names of my family. I don't know. Anyways, just saying, she shows photos and basically.
I don't have a picture of Deborah.
Which, again, out of all the Deborah bars, at least they kept it to a minimum. Which is
right.
Anyways, and this Marie, again, Doris Roberts delivering this wonderfully. She's battling a woman over a toaster, essentially. He says, my son needs me to have that toaster. Meanwhile, security is called. You hear Frank off screen knocking stuff over in the stockroom.
Oh, God.
Anyways, and then this Marie, just with the distraction, makes a run for it. Says, try the coffee maker. She runs in. This is a beautiful ending, I think. It's a great ending. Deborah's on, gets off the phone, or even says, who is that? And basically tells Ray, Bloomingdale's called about your parents. There's something about them causing destruction of property and the theft of a toaster. And then a moment of glorious pause goes by. And then Raymond, again, Raymond, not one of the finest actors of our generation, but boy, does he do this well. Just, again, it's great sentiment behind it. Just says, they do care.
Yeah, really nice.
Really nice. That's how it ends.
Okay, so that was The Toaster. What are your final thoughts?
Again, out of all the Raymond Christmas specials, this one's my favorite. A few of them do kind of weigh on you. Again, out of all of them, like that one's a little harder to swallow. I think this is the best out of all of them, hence the reason I suggested this one. It's a lot of fun. Again, it's I thought out of all kind of Marie's, while Marie does something horrible here, it's like them trying to account for it, which is nice, and it has a little anecdote that it's based off of. It's based on something that really happened to Phil Rosenthal, and so it's funny. It really examines kind of the core of the series. The parents do something to really upset Raymond, and there's some sort of making up for something between the parents and Raymond. And again, it's a sweet gesture around the holidays, and in the end, Raymond kind of gets what he wanted. But of course, the absurdity of what the parents do is also in there. So it's a real fun one.
Yeah, I'm glad we did it. I don't necessarily think it's as good as like out of all the sitcoms we've done this year, I still think Friends is definitely the sentimental favorite for me. But it's I mean, I think this one is very much like by the numbers, kind of like it's a standard formula of an Everybody Loves Raymond episode in a Christmas context. There's a lot of fun things, so I think making it like primarily revolve around the one toaster was a clever thing to do. It kind of made the episode kind of stand out. It kind of gives the episode like a central focus. I thought that was clever. Like we've been saying all along, these are pretty unlikable characters who are delivered by incredibly likable actors. So yeah, I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it.
And again, out of all of them, I think the biggest thing I can say about this, I love that, we see Raymond a very, a loving, sympathetic. It's a very human light Raymond's in this episode. Like, and we all can relate to kind of being stressed out around the holidays about getting the perfect gift for the parents.
Absolutely. Okay, speaking of which, let's go through some tropes. So
we can find the perfect
gift. Yeah, perfect gift.
Going to the grandparents' house for Christmas.
Okay, good one.
Big Christmas party that requires aspirin the day after.
Oh God. Does that also imply eggnog was involved?
Well, I mean, it's some sort of, let's just say some sort of Christmas drink because they're
Christmas
drinking that weird.
Okay. Personalized gift.
Sure, definitely. Let's see, troubled home life around the holidays. Again, it's a constant cycle of them not liking any gifts.
Oh yeah. Drama with the in-laws.
Of course, constantly. Let's see, returning something after Christmas.
Yes, just generally taking place on December 26th.
Okay, yeah, sure. Well, remember, we have the 20. Actually, we see kind of all 3 days. We see 20.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying it's kind of neat that we do get some stuff on the 26th, though.
Yeah.
Fruit.
Yes.
We get the Fruit of the Month Club. We had the fruit basket from Bob Newhart, so that's kind of a running thing.
Visiting, family visiting you around the holidays. I'm saying like Robert visiting Raymond, kind of brotherly love around the holidays.
I can see that. Yeah.
Let's see. Giving your Christmas wish by the end.
Okay. I'd say that's about it.
Yeah. Okay.
And that'll do it, folks. Thanks for joining us, and that's what we like to do here. We like to kind of break down, even on a very formulaic special like Everybody Loves Raymond, we like to dig deep down into the hobo stew and find the meanings of Christmas, find those morsels of Christmas goodness that are prevalent in every Christmas special, and break down and examine them one by one. That is our quest.
But Tiki, I'm just constantly pondering this. I don't know why. I have to wonder. It feels like something's missing, Tiki. We need a name for this process. It's really waning on me. I mean, I don't know. I'm feeling all self-conscious. I'm going to be looking in the engraved toaster all night looking for answers. I mean, Tiki, engrave something on the imaginary toaster in my mind. A phrase of some kind that would epitomize what we do here. Something really meaningful. So think about it for a minute. Okay, I want you to give some good thought to it.
Okay, I'll think about it for a minute. Okay, I got it. Putting the mistletoe underneath the microscope. Next time on Christmas in July. La 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 la.
My wallet's so heavy.
You're a trophy wife? What contest in hell did I win?